Hello, my name is Ruby Yanes, and this is my recording in regards to community action and public policy for my senior seminar. Hello, my name is Ruby Yanes, and this is my recording in regards to community action and public policy for my senior seminar for criminal studies and sociology. So, why is community action and public policy so important? As it is well known, public policies are those in which citizens and the state are involved in. They are the decision making for the design of a collective action in our community and our society. Many times we live our day to day without getting to know or know that these public policies exist. And we do not measure the consequences of the lack of our participation from us in helping make these decisions for our own well being. These policies can be found in services such as regulating transportation, Social Security, education, welfare of minorities or low income families, um, the homeless list. There are other more policies in which we can intervene, but it's a matter of wanting to participate in them if we want to create any changes. So, public policy is important because it determines the quality of our life, and it's thanks to the codes that shape various aspects of our lives. At the local level, they play an important role because that is where they can help promote new innovative laws. It is through public policies that they function as tools that help us incorporate the interest of the state and our society. This, through objectives and concrete actions, serve to respond to certain problems that may occur in our community. Many of these demands or social problems refer to health, education, employment, and social development. This is why it's so important for citizens to participate in the processes of establishing fundamental public policies. There must be a civil society that is actively involved in the process, and it assumes that if the public is collectively involved, it can help us with the interests and the benefits that can be given to the citizens in our society. In short, we are really the ones who make public policies through our active participation with the help of the government. So, therefore, let's participate actively, collectively, and with a better attitude, and let our quality of life improve. Community action is also very important because it seeks to involve the community, including elected public officials, private sector representatives, and especially low income residents in assessing the local needs and attacking those things that cause the conditions of poverty. It's an important way to break that cycle of poor neighborhoods by providing resources and access of the opportunities that people need to improve their lives, to help them and themselves. It is important to look at the needs of the entire community and collaborate with others in the community and take action to improve life for everyone in the community. It also gives a voice to those that are afraid to speak, or the poor communities, the communities that don't speak the language. So, therefore, through advocacy, as we seek to make society more flexible, we help those poor people respond to those needs. I currently I am involved in community action through a free youth after school activity that encourages positive youth development. This program is an after school program that meets twice a week. This club was created 2 years ago at Norfolk High School here in Winston-Salem. It is a club which we've named the Spanish Dance Club. The majority of my students that participate in this program unfortunately come from low income families. They have never joined a club in the past. They suffer with attendance issues and or academic success, and are predominantly African American and Hispanic. As we all know, most clubs require that a student maintain a C average in order to participate. That is not a requirement for this club, nor is good attendance or no discipline. Every student in the school is welcome to join. This program gives the students a positive and exciting opportunity to showcase their new dances and skills with the support and encouragement of their other peers, family, and the school. My goal when creating this program was to motivate the students to have a reason to attend school, to have more parent involvement, and to keep students out of trouble and away from delinquent acts. I have seen how the students have grown throughout these 2 years. They have created a sense of belonging to the school as a student. After asking the school for an approval to give a school performance, we finally were approved for our first performance this school year. At first, it was a hard job getting staff involved due to the negative labels that the club had due to the majority of the students not being academically successful and had discipline issues. But after a lot of advocating and fighting to have them agreed to have this performance, some staff actually got involved and we had a great performance. It became a collaboration with the parents of the club members and even other parents that didn't have any students participating in the club. Latinas Finas is a nonprofit organization that also participated in the performance, and we had other staff members as well. This was truly a dream come true to the club members. I have attached a preview of the performance to this slide if you wish to view. The club also participates at the school spring fling, and some of the money raised provided at a The club also participates at the school spring fling, and some of the money that is raised provides a scholarship to a graduating senior at the end of the year. The money can be used for college purposes or just general household expenses. This teaches the club students to also have an importance of being involved in the community by giving back to the community. My two connections with community action and public policy from our readings were the Merton's ideas from the 1960s about ANIME, which was translated to an applied program of social reform. Merton's work was embodied into Cloward and Allen's thesis and the relationship between juvenile delinquency and opportunity structure of society. Cloward and Allen worked closely with staff members of the Henry Street Settlement in New York City's Lower East Side, a sociological informed program of action research, which was named the Mobilization of Youth. The plan was to eliminate structural obstacles that the youth had. So it was predominantly for non. It was predominantly in the non-white area in Manhattan. The objective was to increase employment ability of the youth that came from low-income families and to improve and make more facilities that did work training and preparation and help youth find jobs equally to their capacities and increase job opportunities and help minority youth overcome hiring discrimination. The program also seeks to deliver educational, vocational, and youth worker services. And it also assisted low-income neighborhoods to empower their community. It was hoping to reduce delinquency and other forms of deviance. With this mobilization, Olin helped shape the federal legislation authority for $10,000 million for a community action to alter the opportunity structures and the constraining the integration of low-income youth in the mainstream of our American society. It was also one of the first programs to receive federal funding under the new legislation. My second connection was labeling theory. Labeling theory has a connection to public policies because there was a time when policies were inspired by lawmakers and other criminal professionals. As learned in the chapters, labeling can have numerous consequences from an individual. The concept of a person can be changed, and they are subjected to being more watched than other individuals that are not labeled. So that label can have a negative effect on the person's future, such as in school and or at the job. If an individual has a stigma attached to their label, it can be detrimental to that person because they can be viewed sometimes as untrustworthy, a bad person, and as for a student, a troubled student. Therefore, the influence of negative labeling, I believe that we should not ignore it. And it should not be ignored in the employment and should not be ignored because as we know, lack of employment and no education is linked to poverty, hardships, crime involvement, and recidivism. So these policies should attempt to reduce discrimination at the workplace and implement help to those individuals that have been involved in the criminal system by maybe obtaining scholarships or money to have a second opportunity to further their education. As we know that a good education has a correlation to reducing poverty and also crime. How this can be integrated to my career plans is, well, this can be integrated to my degree completion in criminal studies and sociology because it has helped me understand that the people in our community, it is also a career where I can work as a team, which is something that I really like. It will provide me with satisfaction of being able to support and provide that guidance that some individuals need to improve their life. I have decided to major in these degrees because it reminds me of my desires that I have of working with the community. I have a desire of working with the youth that are underage and are involved in the criminal system. At some point, I like to be a youth interventionist or a counselor. My semesters at Salem have allowed me to learn more about the career of my choosing. I have learned about the many areas that I can apply this career to. It is very possible to work in the educational area, in the legal area, in community youth outreach. There are so many branches that this career has to offer. This degree has also taught me to know that problems exist in our society, and this career will allow me to perform many community activities in which I like to be involved in more. At my most recent volunteer work, I was fortunate to work closely with a cohort of 75 freshman students that had attendance, behavior, and academic issues. While working with this group of students, it helped me understand these students better. I have learned to be more humanistic and to understand that there will always be young adults who need help to improve their lives. I have also learned from this that providing youth the opportunity to develop positive behaviors is the foundation to prevent youth crime and violence. We know that community-based programs provide opportunities for education, mentoring, and conflict resolutions, which are some strategies to prevent juvenile delinquents. However, integrating my post-college career plans to community coordination will allow me to strengthen my efforts in reducing juvenile delinquency.